The day the badge broke, for over a decade, Officer Danielle Mercer had walked the streets of Brookhaven, Mississippi, with the quiet arrogance of someone who believed she was untouchable. Her badge wasn't just a symbol of authority, it was armor. She wore it like a crown, and with it, she wrote her own rules. She'd stopped, searched, shoved, and silenced dozens of black men in town. Her reports read like a script: non-compliant, verbally hostile, possible threat. No body cams, no questions, just her word against theirs. And in a town like Brookhaven, her word always won, until the day she pulled over the wrong man. Caleb Vaughn wasn't supposed to be in town. He was a successful software consultant based in Seattle, with Fortune 500 clients and a corner office overlooking Puget Sound. But when his father's health declined, Caleb did what good sons do. He came home. 10 months and 2 days after his last visit, he flew into Jackson and drove the 2 hours to Brookhaven, stopping only for a bag of groceries: lemon ginger tea, his father's blood pressure medication, sourdough bread, and a box of jelly donuts from the bakery his father loved. The streets of Brookhaven hadn't changed much since Caleb was a boy. Willow Avenue still had the same cracked sidewalks and sagging power lines. The magnolia trees leaned low as if in mourning. As Caleb drove, memories trickled back: bike rides with scraped knees, 4th of July fireworks, his mother singing gospel in the kitchen. He smiled as he turned onto his childhood street. Then came the siren. He noticed the patrol car 2 blocks back at the intersection. At first, he thought nothing of it. But the cruiser didn't pass him. It stayed behind him, tailing his bumper. He signaled, changed lanes, slowed down. Still, the lights stayed close, humming like an accusation. Then came the chirp, the sharp, unmistakable signal that this wasn't routine. Caleb pulled over, keeping both hands on the wheel. Officer Mercer approached with mirrored sunglasses and a uniform so crisp it looked vacuum-sealed. Her expression didn't shift as she demanded license and registration. No greeting. No reason for the stop. Caleb kept his voice calm. "Yes, officer. I'm going to reach for it." Glove compartment, slowly. Her fingers flexed near her holster. "Keep your hands where I can see them." He moved like glass, transparent, deliberate. "I'm just here visiting my father," he said as he handed her the documents. "He lives 2 blocks over." She had the rental car. "You're not from around here?" "I grew up on this street," he replied. "I'm from here." That didn't matter. She ordered him out of the car. "Excuse me?" he asked. "Step out." "Now." He obeyed, raised his hands slightly, palms open. The sun was hot on his back, the hood of the car scalding as she shoved him forward. "You fit the description of a suspect in a robbery this morning," she said. "I've been at my father's house all morning." "You can check," Caleb replied evenly. She didn't answer. Instead, she called in backup. Her voice into the radio was clipped, cold, designed to trigger escalation. Caleb heard the words: Code 3 backup. Possible aggression. He turned his head slightly. "I know my rights. I'd like to know why I'm being detained." Her hand hit his shoulder hard. "Hands on the hood." Caleb hesitated. "Officer, I haven't. Don't make this harder than it has to be." He placed his hands on the hot metal. "I'm a software consultant. I carry a laptop, not weapons." "You talk too much," she snapped. "You're resisting." The second patrol car arrived. Officer Julian Mendez, younger, uncertain, stepped out. Danielle Mercer briefed him, then cuffed Caleb. "On what charge?" Caleb asked. She didn't answer. Just shoved him into the back seat. The world outside blurred behind the cruiser's window. Caleb sat silent, his phone buzzing in his pocket. Likely his father, waiting with a cup of tea and wondering why his son hadn't returned to the station. He wasn't allowed to make a call. No explanation. No booking. Just a concrete bench, fluorescent lights, and a clipboard shoved in front of him with the words "resisting arrest" checked off. Caleb said nothing. He stared at the peeling paint on the walls, at the badge-shaped stain on the linoleum from years of officers standing in the same spot. This was about more than a traffic stop. He hadn't raised his voice. He hadn't moved without warning. He hadn't done anything except exist in skin that some saw as criminal He sat in that holding cell for 17 hours. No phone call. No lawyer. No explanation. When the door finally opened, a gray-haired officer with a clipboard said, "You're being charged with obstruction and resisting. Bail hearings at 2 p.m. I want to see the incident report. You'll need your lawyer." Then let me call one. He had one call, one chance, and he knew exactly who to call. Layla Dawson hadn't spoken to Caleb in 5 years. They'd met in law school, both top of their class, but took different paths. She stayed in Mississippi, fighting civil rights cases. He left for the tech world. But when Caleb called, she picked up on the second ring. "You don't sound okay." "I'm not. Brookhaven PD arrested me." "Resisting arrest." "Did you resist?" "No. But apparently, I fit the description. I'm on my way." She arrived within hours, in a navy pantsuit that cut through the station like a blade. She didn't shout. She didn't argue. She walked straight to the desk and said, "I'm representing Caleb Vaughn. I want the dashcam footage. I want the report." Mercer didn't even look up from her desk. "That's internal. If you're confident in your version of events," Layla said quietly, "you should welcome transparency." Danielle Mercer stood and walked away. 2 hours later, Caleb was released on bail. No apology. No explanation. Just a door opening. Back at Layla's office, they read the police report. It claimed Caleb had been verbally hostile, non-compliant, and made sudden movements. "I was calm," Caleb said. "I told her everything I was doing." "She didn't need you to be aggressive," Layla said. "She just needed you to be there." Then she opened a drawer. Inside were 3 folders: Gerald Miles, Marcus Fields, Aaron Lewis, all black men, all with similar stories, all arrested by Officer Mercer. Same language in the reports. Same absence of footage. "We file a subpoena for the dash cam," Layla said. "Tomorrow morning." That night, Mercer sat in her apartment, watching the dash cam footage on her department login. She watched herself lie. And for the first time in years, she couldn't finish her drink. When the footage dropped days later, the town exploded. The video showed Caleb calm, respectful. It showed Mercer escalating. It showed the shove. The cuffs. It showed the lie. And Brookhaven, a town used to silence, finally started to whisper at the barber shop, at the church, in the courthouse. People remembered. Evelyn Carter, a clerk, remembered seeing Mercer's name on dozens of cases that disappeared. She remembered her own brother, arrested at 17. No evidence. Just Mercer's word. She went to Layla. "I kept records," she said. "Copies. Names. Dates. I'll testify." And she wasn't the only one. Wallace Grant, Reggie Tillman, Aaron Lewis. They all stepped forward. By the time the court hearing came, Mercer's name was no longer armor. It was evidence. In court, the dash cam played for the judge. Did the defendant resist? The judge asked Mercer. No. She admitted. One word. And the room shifted. Layla submitted affidavits. One after another. Men told their stories, each one an echo of Caleb's. When it was Caleb's turn, he stood tall. "I didn't fight this for revenge," he said. "I fought it because I'm tired of being afraid in my own skin." The judge found sufficient grounds to proceed with trial. And weeks later, the verdict came in. Guilty. Officer Danielle Mercer was stripped of her badge, barred from law enforcement. No applause. Just truth. Caleb didn't smile. He didn't celebrate. He exhaled. Outside, reporters asked for comment. "I didn't win," he said. "But the lie lost. And that's a start." The aftermath rippled. Dash cams became mandatory. An audit reviewed 10 years of Mercer's arrests. Dozens of sealed cases reopened. Caleb started community workshops. Know Your Rights drew dozens. Teens, parents, seniors, even a former cop came to listen. He taught them how to protect themselves, how to fight back with proof. "I ever wanted to give up," he told one student. "Yeah, but then she'd still have her badge. And I'd still wonder if I could have stopped the next man from going through what I did." Even Mercer watched his workshop, just once, anonymously. She didn't comment. She didn't share. But she heard the words, "Your silence is someone else's permission." And she turned the screen off. But the town didn't. Brookhaven remembered. because truth, once spoken, doesn't fade. It echoes. And for the first time in a long time, that echo was loud enough to break a system. And maybe, just maybe, it would never go quiet again.